because anything now attached to Nipsey's name now is going to be a headline for a day or two. At this point, sometimes it stretches even longer. But what did you expect him to say? What do you think Nipsey was going to say?
And that's what I'm saying. And his verse wasn't all about that.
Nah.
And we see so many great things going on from his name and so much positive energy. I get a weird feeling in my stomach that, and I hope I'm wrong, that the homeboy gonna come out eventually, try to troll, say something disrespectful. You know what I mean? Trying to gain his name.
I did hear.
Did.
My man was telling me, I didn't go observe it for myself, but he was telling me like people are already starting to disrespect Nipsey. You know what I mean? In the comment section, the people that posted that. But again,
and that's what I don't like. Why are you stirring up such negative energy towards something positive? We hear all the theories and everybody throwing all kind of shit out here now, and to just harp on those couple of 3-4 bars that he threw in amongst an entire 16-bar verse, it's like, come on, let's not harp on this too crazy. Let's remember him in the right ways. He's not here to defend that. You know what I mean? And if he was properly here to defend that, then whatever will be. But he's not. His family's still grieving. Let's not get his gas toward the wrong shit that's come in and just put a dark cloud over it. I don't like it.
Yeah. And, obviously, Rick Ross and I guess the estate of Nipsey kept it in there because we know that some things have been removed from Rick Ross's album. We're going to talk about that next. And that's Pusha T's verse, man.
That hurt, man.
Yeah.
That fucking hurt. We talked about it a couple weeks ago, man, when people were listening to the album before it came out, and that's all they were talking about. Is Rick Ross is refereeing a lyrical battle between Lil Wayne and Pusha T. We couldn't wait. And did we listen to the album? Souped up? It wasn't there.
Nope.
He talked about it on Hot 97 today, and let's see what Mr. Ross had to say.
He would tell you that I know all the details, but King Louie mentioned it was going around on social that you had said that you had this record on the album with Push and Wayne.
Right.
And then when the album came out, it's just Wayne. The Pusha verse is not on it. Can you give us the scoop on what happened? Because Push's people tweeted and said that they had cleared the verse. Can you fill us in on what happened?
What's so dope about it is both verses were cleared from both parties.
Okay.
But like I said, it was more about the bigger picture. Is this going to move them two getting together, closer? And I'm going to take the charge for that. I didn't feel like this was the time for that.
So you originally did, and then you got better of it.
Oh, no, I got the record done.
Okay.
I got Wayne verse first, and I got Push verse. I wanted to bring them together either way, or at least spark that conversation, because it's going to come. And I feel like next year I'm going to be a part of that, when that Drake, Wayne, Pusha, Kanye record come together. I'm saying it here first.
You think that's going to happen?
All right. So we heard it in a nutshell. Rick Ross took it upon himself to go, nah, this ain't the right time for this. Now, we heard the leak version.
Yeah.
It was dope.
It was dope.
It was real dope. I don't even know, honestly, now that I heard Push wasn't on it, I ain't heard the fucking song yet. I'm not gonna lie and get that for you.
Right.
What you think about this, though?
There's something fishy here about this, man. I just, maybe it's some politics that, just trying to trust Rick Ross's judgment here as being, the CEO that he is with his company. Maybe he's making the right decision, but maybe he's making a wrong one here, because we heard it, the verse from Pusha T, and I just didn't hear, where it could be a conflict. A lot of people are speculating maybe Drake, maybe didn't want that to happen. Maybe, but Wayne, obviously he was cool with letting it because they cleared the verse for it to drop. So I don't know what's going on behind the scenes here, but I think, being somebody who loves all these artists, that I would have loved to have heard, this track. And me personally, I don't think that, with Wayne and Pusha on the track, that it would cause any more, friction. I don't know. It'd just be a healthy competition and people would just move on from it, man.
And the entire conversation leading up to the album was, this is a friendly competition. And we can't wait to hear it. It was all positive. It was all this. So for now, the feeling right on the eve of the album dropping, so to speak, seemingly it not going through, it does kind of raise an eyebrow a little bit, like, why not? And certain things Rick said, he said the timing wasn't right. The timing wasn't right for that to get together. So if you got two people that already cleared it, but you're saying the timing isn't right, the timing isn't right for who? Now, at the end of that conversation, you said you can't wait for a Drake, Wayne, Push, and Kanye record to come out. So is it just the camps of good music, Kanye West, Drake, Wayne? Is that just conversation still too early? Who's sparking that? You said maybe Drake. You didn't name Drake, but Rick Ross is a great CEO, great entrepreneur, and obviously a great speaker and interviewer.
Yeah.
He knows how to maneuver through the conversation while being real, but not giving you everything that you need. Very, very good at that. And he told us timing wasn't right. So if the timing wasn't right, but all prior to this, you got 2 people that already cleared it. You said you refereeing it. Everything's good. All right, we got you. But what do you think about the 4 of them coming together and him stamping that, saying you heard it here first, that them 4 will be on the record? Do you want to hear that? Do you care to hear that?
I want to hear this. I want to hear Push on this one. But Weezy, like, who cares about that in the future? I mean, whatever, it'll be cool, whatever. But that's the future, man. We talking about right now. You know what I'm saying? And maybe, he think it's a bigger picture of, thinking he's looking at it like, all right, if I sacrifice this for now, maybe for the future, I could, really bring Voltron together and we can squash all this beef and put a dope song out or whatnot, and we'll be good. Maybe he's thinking that. But for the people like me and you who just want to hear some quality music, and there's nothing wrong with competition. I don't know why, man, these new school rappers are pussies when it comes to competition. It's like it never could be no competition no more. Everybody, cool together now. Let's hear somebody battling, man. What's wrong with that?
And that was my thing. Like, all right, it's cool for them to get together and be all kumbaya and all that shit, but fuck that Voltron. Let's watch 2 rappers who don't like each other, who are now grown, who solidified their names in rap, air out differences. We're not saying we don't want to see an end all be all. It would be dope to look at Wayne and Pusha sitting one beside one another and being cool. But why not have their differences aired out lyrically with Ross as a referee? The fucking concept of that, the second we heard it, had me going crazy. I couldn't wait to hear it.
Yeah.
Whether y'all thought Pusha T was corny, whether you thought Wayne was whack, whether you thought all 3 of them. For me personally, I couldn't wait to hear this record and just listen to everything that went on behind it. And to not hear it and hear the excuse, it's kind of whack to me. It took away from the album to me, to be perfectly honest with you. We did hear Push's verse, because the second I seen this and heard it, I was immediately looking it up.
Right.
I loved it. It would have sounded dope on the record. It didn't say anything or wasn't anything too wild to go, this is too disrespectful. So I don't know. I don't know if we'll ever understand or ever really get the true answer behind it.
Yeah. So, I mean, the people out there, I'm sure you're listening to the Port of Miami too. No matter what platform you're listening to our commentary on, just let us know what you think about the album going forward. I could say to you, Sam, man, I probably listen to a little bit more than you.
Yeah.
I'm really starting to get into it and enjoy it. And it's almost, I had expectations for it, and I think it's fell just short early, but it's still early. And I think it has time to really, captivate me to the point where I'm like, all right, this hit expectations. Because I'm looking for that deeper than rap type of vibe, you know what I mean, for some reason. And then, hopefully we'll get it.
It's definitely a Port of Miami vibe.
Yeah.
I'm feeling that early on, and I still didn't smoke to it. I didn't work out to it. I didn't have to waste to it yet. So I still got to vibe it out and feel it out. I'm not going to sit back and hate on it yet. Not going to do that, because I think that when it's all said and done, when we get back for episode 209 of the podcast, we'll both be saying we ride with a heavy. I really believe it.
Yes, sir. But Sam, man, I'm going to ask you a question, man, on the back end here. It was, announced, that Meg Thee Stallion and Nicki Minaj, I think the song's called Hot Girl Summer or something like that. They came and Nicki came on to the remix. What are your thoughts, though, Sam, man, on talking about entrepreneurship today? Some of the things that people don't see that we do behind the scenes and things that we have to go through. And also, we'll probably be talking about, a relationship topic or something we'll throw up in there before the conversation is out today here on the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast, man. How was your day yesterday, or today, I should say, Sam, man?
It was good, man. I did a lot for the business, just looking and researching and trying to open some doors and gain some more relationships. We are 2 pit bulls in this, trying to gain and just do our thing in business. And while we're talking about business and entrepreneurship, we might as well just start with that topic, you know what I mean? And just the grind that goes into it. Now, you and I are predominantly, our entire lives were spent in the workforce, but our minds, or our bodies physically were in the workforce, but our hearts and our minds were somewhere completely different, on a pasture far greener than what the fuck we were in at the time. And we both seen entrepreneurship in our near future, and we both got there through blessings and different things like that. We're both blessed enough to be able to do this together and have a business together. But what a lot of people don't see beyond the numbers and beyond the numerous videos and the 16 episodes a month and all the work and all the fruits of our labor is the grind that goes behind it. Now, when I started entrepreneurship, oh God, I know the first thing that people were telling me is, when you start a business, don't expect to really see any returns until 5 years in, if you make it that far. And I'm like, oh, well, damn, like, whatever, I'm going to do this, do that. The money's this. And then as you go through the grind and you start understanding the steps that go behind that, what people that done it before talking about, you quickly realize, oh yeah, this is a 5-year game at least to really start doing it. But the people behind the scenes don't see that. Talk about that little bit of experience and give some game from your experiences as a CEO guy.
Yeah, man, it's a journey, man. And in this, a lot of times people don't realize that you're gonna fail a lot, you're gonna fail early, and often you're gonna lose. You know what I mean? It's not like, you know, the comfortability of having a job and knowing that when you go here, you do this, you get paid. Everything is on you. You have to, you know, generate your income. You got to make sure that people keep coming back. You got to, you know, facilitate all these things as a big corporation because you have to operate as such. If you were smart, you would, and continue to execute at a high level. So it's not an easy thing to do. That's why so many people fail at it. You know what I mean? Some people think they could just jump up, you know, and just start a business. And, you know, a lot of times you got to take into account other things and why it's just so much of a, you know, so many people that fail. But on the contrary, once you're able to manage all that and push through those barriers, it could be very fruitful and very successful. You know what I mean? But it could take years. It could take, you know, months. Some people get successful faster than others, but it's a grind, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, a lot of people don't make it out of that shit, man. You know what I'm saying?
And we see why. And through my grind, my own personal, my journey, I should say, not struggle, because there is no struggle in this. And then we got to be careful in even the words and the things that we put out into this world, because the struggle was sitting there 40 hours a week of gearing up, having to go to work for pennies on a dollar, losing time with your family, losing time from yourself, losing time from the things you will love, and still not being able to pay the bills. That's the struggle. Finding out how to create content with my brother, how to get it to these people and market it correctly while living how I want to live. My kid's good. No, that's not a struggle. That's a blessing. Yeah. You know what I mean? So people got to understand the difference. But I understand that through people going through this journey that a lot of people don't see is, and when they even talked about more money, more problems, it's like, family doesn't understand. You got other entities that just don't understand. And then you got that goddamn devil called perception, where people automatically think because you may have did something here, did something there, that we got just the roof falling full of bread. And that ain't the case at all. So just talk about the dangers of perception in entrepreneurship, in particular in the game we're in.
That too. And they don't realize also the pie that goes, how things are divided. They see, okay, you get this money off the top.